Those things. Okay. Just keep those in mind. As we go, we will start realizing, why did they say it? These are very specific skills. Okay. Now, defining a project. We need to define a project. Unique product or service. A unique product or service. It's time limited. Project ends when the objectives are achieved or abandoned. These are the 3 testing rules. Now, on these testing rules, I put auditing accounts. Auditing an account. Auditing a Mitra and company account. Is it a unique product or service?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Is it time limited? Must be submitted before March 31st.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Does it end when the objectives are achieved? The
Of
report
course, sir.
Yes.
On time, if you are submitting on time, definitely this objective you are achieving.
And the project, does it end when objectives are achieved? Objective was flawless accounting system, all those things in the accounting statements, and then signed by the authorized signatories and everything within the submission date. Submitted. Has it happened? Yes, suppose it has happened. Then why is it not a project? It is a project. So these are the 3 unique requirements. Unique product, time limited, project ends when objectives are met, are achieved. Okay, good. How can you tell that an activity is unique? If it is a completely new product or service. For A Mitra and Associates, say Ravindranath and Company is the accounting company. They have done it for me. For A Mitra and Associates. This is the first time they are doing for A Mitra and Associates accounting. It's a new service they have doing it. They don't know what A Mitra and Associates were doing. They may find that I am in such activity for understanding which they have to understand a new accounting method. Creation of new process. Product or service is new to this group of people. So if it is something like that, then yes, then it is unique. Then this activity is unique. The way they start asking questions is interesting. Time limited, may have a start and end date, but when you look at a very simple manner, then you have to look at a simple manner. You also say, you will have to agree, this is this, fine, I agree. It may have a start and an end date. May be measured as will be completed when a particular objective is achieved. When a particular objective is achieved, you can say it's over. May have a start and that's the best thing. May be measured and will be complete when a particular objective is achieved. If it simply continues forever or to an unspecified end date, it is probably an ongoing business activity. I make a tire company is installing the factory project. After its installment, tires have started producing. It doesn't know unspecified end date. Chalta hai. That is the tires are making. They are making tires. It's an ongoing business activities afterwards. It is just like that. It's not that after production of 100,000 tires, the project is now complete. No. The project may be after trial and all those things over. Objectives will complete when a particular objective produce 100 tires without fault or anything. All the machines and equipment used produce this thing. Objective achieved. Project is complete. So that's how it is. They have tried to define. Important. As you go along, you realize the importance of all these things. It's a very critical thing because you contracts and all those things they come. Can tell when it is done. Objective is achieved, time limit is reached, objective is abandoned. If it is, if it is so, it is abandoned, fine. Project success. Traditionally, success is on time. Success is, it has happened within budget. Success is, has delivered the promised. That is an important word, scope. You have to remember all these words: time, budget, scope. You don't forget these words now. Time, budget, and scope. More effective measures, today's measures, everything ends with satisfied customer. Here, don't try to say it's good, but don't generally don't say generally loyal customers. Satisfied customers. Loyal customers has another connotation, because then products are going on, happening, producing, and customers are coming and taking it. Customers are coming and taking Bridgestone tires or the MRF tires, like that. But satisfied, but it is not in a project again and again. Factories and make, it's not like that. Customers have, what is customer loyalty? Different customers, whoever larger the projects. So, but there also happens, okay, UP Bridge Construction Company, it is like that. But then if there is a Japanese company, you know that, have you ever, has anybody, but you must, most of you must have been very young in age, even if you were born at that time. That's the we are talking about this Nizamuddin Bridge. It was done by with the help of Japanese. So how wonderfully they did it. And vis-a-vis, when this our friend from Amity, you will realize, look at that your bridge, Kalindikund Bridge. How terrible it is. The next one is slightly better, but that was also made by UP Bridge Corporation. Whereas that one, the Japanese made it. How did they almost adhere to the same time, though they were working in a place, land, which is world known for its unpromised deliveries. So, whatever, nothing the way in our country used to happen on time, but they did it almost on time. And wherever, when they did it, when they install a plant, they will do it on time, even with all those uncertainties in this country. How? So that makes us think. That is what is actually country is looking for. A slight delay, the cost to the country is huge. We do not realize that. Sad. Okay, we don't need to do that. So what are the project constraints? Okay, hang on. Just now tell me here. We have project success. We have defined a project. We have defined project success. Now we are looking to look into project constraints. I'm going to, at the end of the chapter, I'm going to ask you questions on this. Define a project. Define how do you know that there's a project is a success. So please keep your mind alert, and hopefully you have a scribbling note and a pencil or a pad or a piece of just a scrap paper. One side it can be written, other side can be blank. So the blank side use. Mahatma Gandhi used to use like that. Imagine Gandhi in the 30s and 40s. He had been using it since even before that. But imagine. And then somebody asked him, why do you do that? Any notebook or anything he will use on the other side also. So somebody in those days asked him, Gandhiji, why do you use like that? Then he said, West not, want not. Look at that. This is known as visionary. People with the vision. Sometimes it has become a fashion to criticize such visionaries. but one has to only laugh. Look at from the smallest of the smallest item to to such a grand thinking. The man used to do like that. No waste. And he gave that, waste not, want not. And you just saw customer, satisfied customer. Same thing, telephone. Satisfied. If the customer is not there, then we are not there. Dissatisfaction is everything. Same thing that man had talked about. Okay. So project constraint, project management expertise, the environment, and the knowledge and skills. These things we will challenge ourselves how much we have retained. So the constraints are not very complicated constraints, not very difficult to just think about simple things, but their impacts are huge. Cost constraint. The cost is overrun. We have always heard about this cost overrun, cost overrun. The signature bridge which we find here in Delhi, because many things in Delhi I remember, because same things will be happening in Bangalore, in Mumbai, in Calcutta, in Kolkata, in Hyderabad, in Ahmedabad. Cost overruns. The signature bridge was initially, the cost was initially estimated. Nobody was hanged. Everybody should have been hanged. 400 and plus crores. And when it ended, I think the cost had touched 2,000 plus crores. Why? Oh, God knows. Important. Cost. The cost is, well, then they will say, nah, I was not given this money. Okay, the suppliers were not paid. Bas, then the story starts. From where? On which kitty will I give you the money? All the story starts. Maybe many of them are correct, but many of them are my looseness, my means an organization, the nation's approach. Scope, absolutely important. Project constraints, the scope has to be correctly defined. That this project will include this. If you make a mistake there, you have it. You have to face problems forever. Scope has to be perfectly defined, clearly defined. Again and again, the importance is on scope. This is what you learn. You will be given situations and then you will be asked, is this a proper scope? Is this a proper scope? This is what you are tested in any project management test of understanding. Quite, what to say? Absolutely, it is based on reality. Scope is everything. You go back and when does the scope, the ugly head of scope comes out? When there is a disagreement with the client, finally the court, and then the okay, let us look at the scope. Okay, quality, as we know, risk, uncertainties, yes, resource as a constraint, time as a constraint. I can't do this in this limited time, but you have to think whether you'll be able to, because this is a managerial activity, balancing everything. And for try to remember this. In this is the classic. This is quite a classic picture of in project management. Quality, the cost. Quality is in the beginning. You did it in such a manner that the next day the whole thing crushes down. End of it, everything, no issue, schedule, there were no hand. So quality, you have to maintain the level of quality. As you grow up, your challenge will be more and more. I have seen so many challenges. India is progressing, but only marginally. We can't build a proper road. If you dig deep, you will find that there are no proper standards even for roads. So where are we? Okay, so the scope, the cost, the schedule, all those are known as the triple constraint. the scope hits the cost hits here, schedule hits here. So the triple constraint are scope, cost, and schedule. Expertise, this we have seen, but broadly application knowledge, IT, software, application knowledge, industry group, technical specialty, management area. These knowledge are application knowledge. Need to know. Understanding the project environment. Understanding the project environment. Suppose you were our madam school in Greater Noida is opening up another school in Northeast. Modern school in Northeast. So you have to understand the project environment. Additional, she has been given the responsibility that please, madam, help us, and you look also afterwards. Though there is a distance, but please look it up. Northeast, there is something coming up, very prestigious here. That you have to understand the cultural, the social, the political, the international, and all the physical, and etc., etc., etc. So that skill is also required. If you have to if I am given the charge of a project manager of another thing, it's a I know of one of my seniors' wife when she also had retired as a principal of a very renowned school here, and then I think was given the charge of school in to be which was coming up in the Middle East, and even my boss, he was my boss, very dear boss, yeah, and then I used to tell him, sir, what's that? You also apply all your knowledge there. And he used to have a hearty laugh. Well, madam is doing wonderful, and she did an excellent, exceptional achievement. So I remember all those things. Management knowledge and skills, interpersonal skills. Now you see interpersonal skills if you have all those communication, motivation, leadership, you will find all those skills are there. Especially communication, especially motivation, ability. So project definition, these are in bullet forms, in one word. Project definition is unique, time limited, can tell when it is over. Success, one word, satisfied client. Constraint, time, scope, and cost. Time, scope, and cost. Project management expertise. Project environment, the project management knowledge and skills. So I'm just going to do something, and then we will move on to the next one. And you're going to tell me, are you getting some kind of an idea about project management? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yogeshwari,
Yes, sir.
Hussein.
Yes, sir, I'm getting it.
Dancing, and all others. Okay. In one simple words, define a project. Tuck, tuck, tuck. 3 words.
Effort, unique,
That's it.
Limited.
Unique, and then
Limited.
Time limited.
time limit.
Time limited. Yes.
Can you tell when the project is getting over?
Come again.
Scheduled.
Team coordination, sir.
Hmm?
Team coordination. It is unity.
Time limited. Objectives are achieved. Okay.
Fulfilling aims and objectives, sir.
Yes, objectives are achieved. Okay. Success.
Satisfied clients.
Absolutely. Constraints, any 3. Any 3.
Scope and register.
Cost, scope.
Yes.
Quality, risk,
Oh,
Quality, risk, resource,
time.
absolutely.
in
Absolutely.
time, sir.
Good, 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 good. Scope, quality, risk, resource, time, all these are constraints. Imagine, imagine just whatever work you are doing. Suppose you are doing a software, you are involved in a software project. The cost, no, 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 you can't get more resource. We can't get another person joining this team. No, cost prohibitive. Okay, scope. Why you can't add this work, no? Because our scope is limited. Don't meddle with this scope. Hey, don't meddle with this scope. Scope, quality. Always look for quality. This will not pass the quality checks. Quality.
Excuse me, sir. Can you just clarify a little more about scope? Scope will be in cost, and scope can be in quality also. What is the scope? So
Everything quality means they will say that the delivery has to follow this standard. It has to be the work will involve this, and the output will
so
meet this
scope
specification.
will be with for everyone. The scope of the cost, how much we are getting, or
Scope
scope
doesn't
of the
include
quality, or
scope of
scope
work.
of the risk.
Scope of work.
Yeah, that is what I'm not getting clear. What scope of what? Like scope, other costs, other
No,
constraints are
no,
also
no, no,
there.
no, 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 no. Only the project.
Okay.
Others, no. That is why I'm saying writing a scope is not very easy. You will listen. Suppose I ask and say, what am I going to do? Then you have to number one. This will be included. We will do this. Okay. The output will meet this is specification. So,
Hello, sir.
hmm,
Sir, do we do the SWOT analysis to analyze the scope?
Hmm, that depends on but SWOT is usually not in analyzing. If you think, if you think you don't have the people, or do we have the people? That is, if we say, "Okay, sir, we have this people. New project has come." So the project, whosoever asked me that question, the scope, it's a brilliant question you have asked. Even the customers are not very clear about the scope of that. It is in reality. You have asked a brilliant question, and therefore all the trouble starts from there. Afterwards, so if you ask, suppose you've been doing, you are working in which area? Whosoever asked me this question, this
So
next.
the principal, Annie Williams.
Okay, okay, okay. If you
Actually, so I've been a founder principal of, I opened or started from scratch 3 schools in 3 different areas. So, like I've done one school in Punjab, one school in Chhattisgarh, one school in in Ahmedabad. So,
hmm,
since because of the inception, from inception to the working of the starting of the school, so that
hmm,
is a big project involving
hmm,
all these things: scopes, time, resource, everything. And you
hmm,
rightly said that these are the things. But when we say of scope, I'm not getting clarified. Scope of what? That is what I just wanted to understand.
okay, okay. We will address that. We will address this requirement of yours.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, and the second question was SWOT, whether you will do SWOT or not. See, it is left to you. If your top man says, "Hey, let's do it," this new project is asking us to do this. Now, we at the present moment, do we have this? So, some is saying yes, yes, yes. Sonali is having these skills. Somebody is saying, yes, sir, no, I don't think she has got the skill, but Ravi has got this skill. So there is confusion. There is yes. We have the strength. What are our weaknesses? You can do looking at the scope, and then do a dialogue with the customers and say, "Sir, we have to change the scope into this manner because this are the reasons." You may do, but these are actually all done like that. When a new project comes up and a new uh, work is taken up, you do this kind of analysis. You have to do, or else you will not be able to from the beginning. The scope is at the beginning. Usually at the beginning you do that scope. Scoping. We always say like that. Scope karo. Everywhere you will find scope. A very simple understanding of scope is, suppose it's like a project. Suppose you have a vast operation and you have been told to get certification. And that certification, you cannot get it for certain operations which are so complicated that it is not possible, or you don't want to share data. Suppose it is that situation, you don't want to share data, whereas certification will need you to give data to the people who come you and inspect you. And you cannot give those, you cannot show those data because your international client is barring you. Then when you work out the scope, you have to very clearly work out your scope so that those areas are not coming within the scope of certification. And this is the language. You very carefully you articulate with you develop. You do not articulate even. You have to work out the scope. Okay, chalo, good. I like it. I'm enjoying it. Thank you. Now we move on to the next one. And then we will stop for some time. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Now we will go on to project life cycle. This is also important. Here the important thing is, till now, the important thing in the last chapter was defining a project, the three things. And then the success of a project. How do we understand the success of a project? And then another thing was, what are the constraints? The other points are also important, but what are the constraints? Those things were important. But here, when we will just learn what is the life cycle, what are the major activities of a project, because from there we will start looking at more and more. We'll enter into activities. Okay, just one sec.